So the Hawks have confirmed that the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church leader Shepherd Bushiri and his wife did not report to the nearest police station on Friday as a part of their bail conditions. This after news broke this morning that the Bushiris have fled to their home country of Malawi. They issued a statement raising safety concerns. The couple, alongside three other accused, are out on bail in a fraud, money laundering and theft case worth over 100 million rand. Well, we go live to Lilongwe now to speak to Shepherd Bushiri. He joins us now. A very good evening to you, Mr. Bushiri, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Good evening.
I think the most important question that people have is, how did you get to Malawi?
I think for now, I'm not in a point to explain about that. I'm still an emotional person to explain on all those things, because that's not the main issue. I'm still an emotional person here, or to speak out.
You're asking the South African government to protect you. You're asking the South African government to guarantee you that your bail will not be revoked. How you got to Malawi is very important. How did you get there?
Or to speak out. As I was saying,
you're asking the to protect you. You're asking the South African government to guarantee you that your bail will not be revoked. How you got to Malawi is very important. How did you get? All right, we seem to be having a problem with the connection there. We're going to see if we can dial him back. Shepherd Bushiri speaking to us from Lilongwe. As I mentioned, he just held a special press briefing. He was saying that he's still too emotional to explain to us how he managed to get there. Well, let's get to speak now to the Minister of Information in Malawi. A very good evening to Mr. Kazako, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So, did you know that Shepherd Bushiri was in Malawi?
Do I mind what? Hello?
In Malawi.
I'm very well, and how are you?
Sir, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Did you know that Shepherd Bushiri and his wife fled South Africa to Malawi even though there were bail conditions restrictions? Did you know that they're in Malawi? Okay, we're going to see if we can get that line back.
I'm very well.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Shepherd Bushiri. He is back with us, hopefully. I'll ask again, Mr. Bushiri, how did you get to Malawi? Did anybody assist you to get to Malawi? Line back up. Okay, so we seem to be having a problem. My foreign editor, Sophie Gwena, is with me in the studio. What a bad time to be having bad internet connection, Sophie. But these are a very interesting developments. Just yesterday, you and I were speaking about the visit of the Malawi President Chakwera to South Africa and the discussions he had with President Cyril Ramaphosa, which centered around cooperation on preventing crime and corruption.
Yes, indeed, Tsepi. So yesterday the two leaders met and they emphasized the intention to strengthen the relations between the two countries. And I did ask them about issues of crime, because in my mind I was having the issue of Shepherd Bushiri. But also at the same time, the ANC Secretary General was appearing in court in Bloemfontein. For me, the question was, as leaders, what are they doing to deal with issues of crime, fraud, corruption, and money laundering? And the president of Malawi was very firm to say that he is going to fight corruption and fraud, and also any crime in that country, even promising to cooperate with SADC member countries to combat crime in our region. Let's take a listen at what he had to say in terms of Malawi becoming the chair of the SADC and what he intends to do, particularly in terms of cooperation between South Africa, which is going to be the chair of Troika organ on politics and defense and security.
I have pledged Malawi's unwavering support to South Africa in international fora, such as the UN Security Council, where South Africa holds a non-permanent seat. Obviously, I will also need South Africa's support as Malawi assumes chairmanship of the SADC next year, where we will share leadership. As Republic of South Africa will also assume chairmanship of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security.
Is going to cooperate with South Africa as the incoming chair of SADC. Now, we heard earlier on the Minister of Justice in South Africa, Ronald Lamola, who said they are going to ensure that they bring Shepherd Bushiri in South Africa, and they are going to use instruments that are available to them. The first one, the easy one, is to evoke the protocol, the SADC protocol on cooperation in combating crime. Secondly, if that is not the route they are going to take, they will have to use their bilateral relations and agreements between South Africa and Malawi. In this case, they will have to use mutual legal assistance agreement on criminal matters. Now, the Justice Department of South Africa will have to interact with the Justice Department of Malawi to get this going. After the Hawks and also NPA have agreed on issuing a warrant of arrest. The last option will be Interpol, which is even more embarrassing. They will have to evoke the relationship and the agreements they have signed with Interpol to get him back into South Africa. But a simple way to save face, particularly for Malawian government, the head of state only yesterday making a firm commitment that he's going to fight crime, he's going to fight corruption, and he is going to cooperate with South Africa. Should there be an issue that they have to cooperate on, they will have to hand over Bushiri.
Now, it's a pity that we couldn't speak to Mr. Kazako, but the question that I was asking him is, did they know that Shepherd Bushiri was in Malawi? What is the likelihood that they didn't know? What is the likelihood that the president of Malawi came to South Africa with Shepherd Bushiri being in Malawi and he did not know?
Well, my sources in Malawi told me earlier on that the Minister of Information indicated that he spoke to Bushiri today. Apparently, he got the information today after he released that statement. I can't really vouch for that, but that's what he told some people in Malawi, that he spoke to Bushiri, and Bushiri gave those reasons that he presented during his address to the nation in Malawi, and therefore that's the matter, and they feel that this matter has got nothing to do with them. They don't have egg on their face. It is South Africa with egg on its face, because it is an embarrassment that he was able to leave this country. You would recall that his passport is with the South African police, and therefore the question is, how did he manage to skip the country? Others, the information I have from my sources is that they suspect that he used a road and therefore crossed one of the borders, you know, where you have a way to cross. I don't know whether he used the normal fence, the fence that we always talk about, to cross to Zimbabwe. And from Zimbabwe, apparently he got a passport and then left for Malawi. But it is not confirmed, because when I spoke to my sources in Zimbabwe, they told me that as far as they know, somebody, high-profile person within the church who was once very close to Bushiri, told them that he used a plane. He flew out of South Africa, but he was flying very low so that the radars cannot pick him up, cannot pick the plane. And therefore, it is lots of information. And unfortunately, these informations that we have, we can't verify, because the South African government, the Department of Home Affairs, doesn't want to really come out clear to grant us interviews so that we can probe those questions. The same with the Department of Justice. They issued statements. They are saying they are waiting for investigations. The Department of Police, in this case the Hawks, must also tell us what are they doing. And of course, the questions are now raised because it was clear that NPA was clear from day one that this guy cannot, and the wife and those who are involved, be granted a bail, because signs were there that he was going to skip the country. Lots of passports in and out, lots of lies in terms of how he came to South Africa. He has already taken his children's and the planes and the cars and everything out of the country, and he's got lots and lots of money invested in South Africa and outside of South Africa.
Okay.
And therefore we are sitting with the an issue that was we knew that this was going to happen.
So I believe that we do have Malawi's information minister with us, Gospel Kazako. Mr. Kazako, thank you so much for coming back to us. The question I was asking you earlier on is when did you learn that Shepherd Bushiri was in the country?
We learned it from the South African media. There has been a lot of reports in South African media that Prophet Bushiri is in Malawi. That's where we learned this.
Have you spoken to Shepherd Bushiri since?
Come again?
Have you spoken to Shepherd Bushiri since learning of his presence in Malawi through the media, as you say?
No, we have not spoken to Prophet Bushiri. We have not gotten in touch with him. Neither has he gotten in touch with the Malawi government. So that's the position at the moment.
So what is the position of the Malawi government? How do you feel about the fact that he breached bail conditions in South Africa and fled to Malawi? What are your intentions there?
At the moment, there's almost nothing that we can say or we can do, because one, we have not been informed of how this case is going on in South Africa. Of course, for starters, we didn't even know what is going on in South Africa as far as the law and the courts in South Africa are doing with Prophet Bushiri. Secondly, nobody has contacted the government of Malawi on anything regarding anything surrounding Prophet Bushiri. Also, Prophet Bushiri has not gotten in touch with the Malawi government on anything that he would be or he might be requiring from this government. So, you see, we are a government, we are a serious government, and we follow procedures. We cannot be reacting to just mere media reports, considering that sometimes media reports can be infiltrated with fake news. We are not saying this news is fake or it is genuine, but you know that these days you cannot take any news with its facts value.
Well, here are the facts. We spoke to Shepherd Bushiri just before we spoke to you. He confirms that he is in Lilongwe. Shepherd Bushiri is also aware that he is a fugitive from the law in South Africa. How does that make you feel as Malawi, that knowing that you are unwittingly harboring a fugitive?
Look, we have not done anything on this. As it is, we have no material that will make us generate or motivate any feelings about Prophet Bushiri. We need to be asked, we need to be informed, we need to know what is going on as government. It's only after that we'll be able to communicate or to say how we feel, or probably how we want to handle the issue or the issue surrounding Prophet Bushiri. At the moment, I think it's an issue that is not here, not there, because as a government, we must have principles, we must have ethics. We know that this issue is happening, and it's certainly involving one of our very, very strategic partners, which is South Africa. South Africa is a very strategic partner to us. You know, the president was in South Africa a few days ago. He came there to cement our relationship, to open more new pages about our relationship so that we can work together and create a win-win situation, and that our two people in our two countries must benefit from this situation. So we look at South Africa with very high value, with a lot of goodwill and so on and so forth. So Yeah, but at the moment, the issue to do with the field, that's our position. The government of South Africa has not come to us and has not communicated anything to us. And as you know, the government will only operate on material that is available, material that is put on it.
All right, Mr. Kazako, should the South African government appeal to you for assistance in one way or the other, whether it's to extradite Mr. Bushiri, in the spirit of the agreement between Malawi and South Africa on cooperation on stemming crime and corruption, would you cooperate?
We cannot be basing our decisions on assumptions. We need to get some movement from the government of South Africa, but we cannot be saying things or communicating things based on an if situation. Let them communicate to us. When we make requests, they will be able to look at the different and various requests. Let's look at the various laws, various protocols, and follow the law. You know, one of our pillars in this country is to follow the rule of law. But following the rule of law does not necessarily motivate us to do things haphazardly or even somehow in a flagrance that is merely carelessness in our approach to matters involving our citizens.
All right.
So we cannot, as a government, operate on an if situation. Let the South African government request us, and it's how we do things from there. But I'm also mention here, there's something that is coming out from South African media, and there is a very dangerous narrative and discourse that is being created in South Africa.
Okay.
The South African media would want to let people believe that it was the president that had been taking Shepherd Bushiri into Malawi. That is not true. That is not correct. It can never happen. We have one of the most honest men in this continent of Africa, and that's President Shepherd. So that can't happen. Forget about that. Look at other areas, but that one can't happen. And this president cannot do that. And we also are honest people. You know our position, even those that work with me there in South Africa, you know the reputation that Malawian have. So imagine this president is actually a brilliant president who is very, very honest.
Mr. Kazako, please just be on standby. My foreign editor, Sophie Mgweni, would like to engage, and before she does that, I'd like to apologize to our viewers for the poor sound quality. We really are trying our best. Unfortunately, it is the connection. Sophie?
Well, Minister, I just want to ask you, Malawi is the incoming SADC chair, while South Africa is the incoming chair on defense security. I just want to find out, the Minister of Justice in South Africa is saying he is going to use the SADC protocol available to bring Bushiri in South Africa. Are you going to cooperate should South Africa evoke the SADC protocol as the incoming chair, and you have to lead by example?
I think the question here is not about who is the chair or who is not the chair. The question here is not about who is the Minister of Justice here or there. The question is the sense of law, the fabric of law, the necessity of law, the application of law, the protocols and treaties. So I think to use that law South Africa, it could have been anybody else. It could have been Zambia, it could have been Zimbabwe, it could have been anybody else. The most important thing that we have to be looking at is how are we respecting the protocols? How are we respecting the treaties? How are we respecting the rule of law as countries in SADC? So I think for us to start discussing an issue by the motivation that this is so because it's coming from a South African Minister of Justice, I think we will not be within our plot of regional agreement or that's our view. But we know that the coming name of South Africa share in that regard. Certainly, we strengthen SABC in that area, looking at the muscle, the capacity, and the size of the economy of South Africa, and the experience, and so many other things. But I think it will not be very, very right, and it will not be smelling with very, very good fragrance if we start to look at it from that angle. That's our view.
All right, just going forward, Mr. Kazako, again, you say you're waiting for communication from the South African government. Will you, of your own volition as the Malawi government, approach Shepherd Bushiri and speak to him and engage him to find out about why he has fled South Africa to be in Malawi?
We have, as I said, we have not spoken to Shepherd Bushiri at the moment, but we will certainly speak to him because we can confirm he's in Malawi, he's our citizen, and certainly when all media is talking about one of our citizens here, we certainly have the responsibility to find out what is happening. We understand that his travel documents from South Africa were taken away by the law enforcers, by the courts, and we don't know how he managed to get into Malawi. The preliminary reports are saying that he came by road in one of the borders and passed through the bridge in South Africa. But we are yet to confirm and get very solid intelligence coming from our intelligence in Malawi. We also certainly at a certain stage, when proper communication and all the administration has been done, to find out from South Africa also that how did the Prophet Bushiri managed to leave South Africa without the documents. South Africa has very, very serious border money facilities and what happened. And so this issue is not just about Malawi, but there are also a few other pieces of salt that we need to give South Africa to have a test on. But I must mention this, that South Africa remains our very serious partner, our very strategic partner, and we are looking forward to growing this relationship because we think that for many, many years we have not done pretty much very well. There is much more that we can do together. There are so many Malawians in South Africa, and there are also so many South Africans in Malawi. We are almost one people, and we think we can do lots of things together. Let me also mention this, that Prophet Bushiri is one of the citizens that stay in South Africa. He stays in South Africa, he lives in South Africa, he has a permanent residence in South Africa, and there are so many Malawians who have the same status. And it's not the first time that we are having a Malawian be required to answer issues to do with courts and laws. And certainly, as government, we have to look at that and we'll see how we handle the other issues. Because we are all equal before the law, and we see what the law, how the law will guide us.
I need to interrupt and ask this question. Are you suggesting that, to your knowledge, Mr. Bushiri is in South Africa legally? Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Come again with my suggestion that to Prophet Bushiri.
Okay, we've got Mr. Bushiri back on the line with us, so let's then go back to him. Mr. Bushiri, apologies.